very good evening to our lecturer, Madam Rahayu, and my fellow friends. Today, our group will present on Islamic financial instrument or Muamalat transaction. Before we start our presentation, let me introduce our group members. First, my name is Nur Fatihah binti Ghazali, and my group members is Nur Liana Hazwani, Nur Sarah Nabila, and Nur Azira. Okay. Before we proceed to more detail on Islamic transaction, let me introduce about the Islamic transaction. Islamic transaction is a transaction that is based on principle of Islamic law, also referred to as Sharia law, and guided by Islamic economics. This means that Islamic transaction is not based on civic law. The basic concept of Islamic transaction is the prohibition of the collection and payment of interest or riba between the parties involved in the transaction. For definition of riba, or today's we call interest, riba translates literally from Arabic as an increase, growth, or accretion. As a Sharia term, riba, which is called as an interest notice, refers to the premium that the borrower must pay to the lender along with the principal amount as a condition for the loan or for the extension in its maturity. Riba represents a prominent source of unjustified advantage. In Islam, lending money should not generate unjustified income. Therefore, riba or interest in lending money is against the principle of Islam. Okay, the prohibition of riba is actually stated by Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala in the Holy Quran. The first surah which Allah prohibited our people to not involve in riba. First is Surah Al-Baqarah, sentences 278 and 279, which means, hai orang-orang yang beriman, bertakwalah kepada Allah dan tinggalkan sisa riba yang belum dipungut. Jika kamu orang-orang yang beriman, maka jika kamu tidak mengerjakan, iaitu meninggalkan sisa riba, maka ketahuilah bahawa Allah dan Rasulnya akan memerangimu. Dan jika kamu bertaubat, iaitu dari pengambilan riba, maka bagimu pokok hartamu, kamu tidak menganiayai dan tidak pula dianiayai. The second surah is Surah An-Nisa, sentence 161, which means dan disebabkan mereka memakan riba, padahal sesungguhnya mereka telah dilarang daripadanya, dan kerana mereka memakan harta benda yang dengan jalan yang batil, kamu telah menyediakan untuk orang-orang yang kafir di antara mereka itu siksa yang pedih. The another two surah which Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala prohibited the people from involved in riba is Surah Ar-Rum and also Surah Al-Imran. Besides, the prohibition of riba is stated in the Holy Al-Quran. The prohibition of riba also is stated by our Prophet Nabi Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The first hadith is which means Hazrat Ibnu Al-Mas'ud reporting a saying of the Prophet, in which the Prophet said, when adultery and interest become commonplace in a people, then they definitely ask for Allah's punishment for themselves. And another hadith is from Jabir, the Prophet, may peace be upon him, who's the receiver and the payer of interest, the one who records the transaction, and the two witnesses to the transaction, and said, they are all alike in good. Muslim, Kitab Al-Musafat, Bab Al-Ya'ana, Ati Al-Riba wa Mu'kilahu, also in Tirmizi and Musnad Ahmad. Well, from this hadith and also from Holy Quran, it is proof that riba is totally prohibited by Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. The reasons why riba is prohibited in Islam. The first reason is interest concentrate wealth in the hands of a small minority. Because interest is a low risk way to increase wealth. If we already have wealth, this functions to concentrate wealth into the hands of a minority, which has potentially socially destructive effect, leading to phenomena like the 99% movement. Scholars have suggested that several mechanisms in Islam serve to limit concentration of wealth, which is zakat as a wealth tax. Inheritance must be subdivided between all children. The second reason is interest introduce instability into the economic system. If people are lending money to others, but it is untied to a physical resource and based on the expectation that not everyone will try to get back their liquid asset at the same time, then the so-called liquidity ratio, which allows banks to not have to hold all of the money they have lent in liquid form. This can introduce financial instability into the system. As we know, when the financial instable in the economy, the people will suffer a lot. The third reason is interest can cause overconsumption that later can be life-destroying. If people are given the option of borrowing against future earnings without knowing what those future earnings are, people may overconsume. A harsh number of people might have been destroyed by, for example, credit card debt. As we know, Islam is really prohibited people from overconsume their wealth. This is shows that people, for example, a rich people, they spend or expense their money without consider a minority people.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will proceed about Islamic banking. There are two Islamic banking schemes that are offered by a bank, which are Al-Wadi'ah and Al-Mudarabah. Okay, the first one that I will explain is Al-Wadi'ah. Al-Wadi'ah is the bank allowed to use the money placed by the depositor, but in return the bank would give guarantee or yat damanah to return the money deposit by the depositor when the depositor required the money. The share of profit earned is at the discretion of the bank. It means that all the profit generated from the money used is belong to the bank. Okay, next is Al-Mudarabah. Al-Mudarabah is a form of partnership between two parties. The first party is the party which contribute the capital. We call as Rabumal or capital provider or investor. The second party is the party which contribute the effort in managerial or in entrepreneurial skill. We call as Mudarib or bank or manager or entrepreneur. The profit outcome from this venture is shared between the capital provider or investor and the bank. The profit sharing ratio is on the profit sharing ratio that agreed by the both parties, and the losses will borne solely by the investor. For example, Bank Islam distribute ratio 70% to the investor and 30% to the bank. But the investor do not involve in managing the fund that the investor invest in the bank. But investor need to bond all the losses from that investment. Next is tax implication on Al-Wadi'ah and Al-Mudarabah. The share profit paid by bank to the depositor, whether Al-Wadi'ah or Al-Mudarabah, would be an allowable expenses in arriving the bank adjusted income or loss. and any gain or profit derived from the money with the bank license under Islamic Banking Act 1983 by the resident individual will be exempted from the tax. Okay, I will pass to Sarah Nabila.
Okay, thank you, Lian Hazwani. So now, as you can see from the slide in front, there are 4 instruments related to acquisition of assets, which are Al-Bay bin Taman Ajil, Al-Murabahah, Al-Musyarakah, and Al-Ijara. So I will be explaining on the first 2 instruments. So the first one, Sarah. So the first one is Al-Bay bin Taman Ajil, or in English is what we call as deferred installment sale. So it is where the bank would acquire asset from manufacturer and then sell it to the customer at a higher price. So in this case, the typical asset for such contract are land, building, machinery, and equipment. So and then, customer would settle the debt through installments over an agreed period of time, which normally a few years. So there is no interest charged on the debt, and as for the sale price, the price quoted for the asset in the contract is inclusive of profit, which means that the differential between the sale price and the purchase price is the profit to the bank. So the advantage of Al-Bay bin Taman Ajil is that the installment remains fixed over the period of contract, and no adjustment is to be made in the event that the base lending rate or interest rates fluctuates. So a simple example would be a bank acquired a machinery for a price of 1 million, and then it sells it to the customer for a price of 1.2 million. So the difference of 200,000 is the profit to the bank, and let's say it is agreed that the installment is to be divided equally over 24 months. So it means that the customer have to pay a fixed 50,000 every month. So any rate change will not affect the upfront agreed sale price. So in taxation perspective, Al-Bay bin Taman Ajil basically works the same way as hire purchase financing. So where the acquisition of asset falls into qualifying capital expenditure, capital allowance would be treated as if the asset is bought under hire purchase. Similarly, any disposal of such assets would be subject to balancing allowance or balancing charge. Moving on to the second instrument, that is Al-Murabahah, or deferred lump sum. So basically, it works the same way as Al-Bay bin Taman Ajil, except for 3 things. That is the first one. Instead of the bank acquiring assets, it will acquire trading stocks such as long put, long call, and options. So and then the second one, the repayment of the debt is lump sum over an agreed period and not installments. And the third one is the time scale for Murabahah is shorter, that is usually less than 3 months. So last but not least, in terms of taxation, the cost incurred by the customer to the bank would be treated as the cost of goods purchased and be allowed as a revenue deduction. Just so you know, in the Middle East, the Al-Bay bin Taman Ajil is a similar practice under the term Al-Murabahah. However, in Malaysia, both terms refer to 2 different products. That is all from me. I will pass to Nurul Azira to proceed with the next 2 instruments.
Musyarakah or Nurul Al-Sharika is a partnership under Section 55 to 58 of Act. Technically, partnership is an agreement between 2 parties or more to combine their asset, labor, liabilities, or in order to gain profit. There are 3 types of nature of musyarakah, which is profit and loss sharing. Ratio of sharing must be determined and in advance. Second, if one being paid in fixed remuneration, he deemed not a partner, except being announced in the agreement. Lastly, one partner has tried to dissolve the partnership. And the pillars of musyarakah, there are 5 types. There are 4 pillars of musyarakah. First is syuraka, which is the shareholder. Second is Rasul Mal, or the capital. Third is Mashru, or the project. Fourth is Rik, the profit allocation. And the last is the Sirqa, which is the Ijab and Qabul. There are, let's
let's see the conditions of musyarakah, which is first, the shareholder and partner must be the qualified persons. The capital that be involved in this musyarakah must be in cash or something that can be valued in money. Then, the project should be according to Sharia compliance, and lastly, the profit ratio must be determined and agreed by the parties involved. Next is the types of musyarakah. This is the flow that you can see about the musyarakah, which is with the Ijab and Kabul. Then we go to Rasumah and we go to Jurib, and then lastly the Mashru, and the cycle is followed by one. The next we will see the types of musyarakah. There are two types of musyarakah, which is the first Syirkah Al-Milk, and the second is Syirkah Al-Uqud. We will see the Syirkah Al-Milk first. Syirkah Al-Milk is the joint ownership of two or more in a particular property. Under Syirkah Al-Milk, there are two more types, which is optional ownership and compulsory ownership. Meanwhile, Syirkah Al-Uqud is affected by a mutual contractual or a joint commercial enterprise. There are four types under Syirkah Al-Uqud, which is first, partnership in capital, second is partnership in labor, third is partnership in goodwill or credit, and lastly is profit sharing partnership. Next is the dissolution of musyarakah. There are 5 ways to dissolve the partnership of musyarakah. Which is first is when a partnership has fulfilled its obligation or when duration has expired. Second is by mutual consent of parties. Third is by request by one of the parties, which is subsequently approved by the other parties. Fourth is by the death one of the partners in the musyarakah. And lastly is by the bankruptcy of one or all of the partners involved in the musyarakah. Next is the example where the musyarakah is being applied in modern application, which is first there have modern financing. We have import-export financing, working capital financing, saving, current investment accounts, interbank lending or borrowing, securitization, and sukuk musyarakah. Next instrument you'll see is ijara, or the other term is a modern term is leasing, composition or sale of usufruct under section 33 and 39 of Act. Technically, leasing is a contract of purpose and non-usufruct is specified and lawful return or compensation for the effort or work which has been expended. The nature of ijara involved first is lease, which is the contract which owner of land or building allow another person to use for a specific time, usually in return for a rent. Ijara is the lease or the hire contract, and the person who is selling to someone else have right to benefit or payment for services with certain price. In Islamic banking, it's a lease contract under bank or financial institution lease equipment or building to clients against fixed charge. Next, we'll see the pillars of ijara. There are 6 pillars of ijara, which is first is mu'ajir or the lessor, mustajir is the lessee, ma'jur is the thing or the property that being used for the leasing. Next is al-manfa'ah, the benefit from the rent from the contract. Next is the ujrah or the fee involved for the leasing, and the last thing is silghah or ijab and kabul. Next, we'll see the condition to involve in ijara. First is the property must belong to the lessor, or this must be known and must be specified in the contract. Second, usufruct can be valued with money, valid according to the Sharia. Next, the amount of payment must be announced in the contract and being known by the both contract, known by the both parties, the lessor and the lessee. Lastly, the ijab and kabul must follow the conditions set in Islam. Next is the types of ijara. There are 2 types of ijara, which is first based on subject matter of lease asset, and second is based on contractual relationship.
Under based on subject matter of the lease asset, there are three types, which is Ijara Ain, Ijara Aman, and Ijara Mausufa fi al-Zimah. Under based on contractual relationship, there are two types, which is operating lease and financial lease that we commonly teach during our semester. Next is we'll see the Ijara. The schedule shows the Ijara versus normal sales to differentiate between Ijara and the normal sales involved in our daily. Ijara first, in element duration element, Ijara based solely on predetermined time frame as part of the requirement of the contract, while normal sale does not permit any time frame. The next element is the nature, which Ijara has a temporary contract with specified time frame for its expiry and due time, while normal sale have a permanent contract without any specified period of expiration. Third element is the ownership. Ijara have no time of ownership, but normal sale have transfer of ownership. The next element is subject. The Ijara involve usufruct and services, while normal sale involve physical goods and property. Now, next is the example of model application for nowadays, which is first simple Ijara, Aita, Musyarakah Mutanakisah, Ijara based on credit card, Suku Ijara, and Ijara rental swaps. I think that's all from us. Thank you.